Hi everyone, this is Beth Miller with another video with all of the skills, tools, techniques, and insights that we need to become cool and connected in our lives, and also to realize the powerful creators that we truly are, and to help us to release all of that stress, worry, and anxiety that really gets in the way of being able to harness that great expansive power that we have. So I'd like to talk to you today about things like psychotropic medications versus supplements, using either or both for things like stress, worry, and anxiety, and also a little bit about food and some other natural remedies. So the thing is that a lot of people struggle with whether they should go on psychotropic medications, the anti-anxieties, the antidepressants. And I see this often because I'm a psychotherapist, life coach, energy healer. I do spiritual counseling with people as well. And that means that I'm talking with people quite a bit about whether the medications they're on work or whether they even want to go on medications. And very often people do not want to go on psychotropic medications. I cannot prescribe them. And I don't, and I really wouldn't want to. It's not really my area of expertise. And I do feel like very often, or most of the time, people can get better and cure their anxiety without medications. Um, I do believe either way, people are going to have to do some of the other layers of work that need to be done, regardless of whether they go on medications. Though sometimes psychotropic medications can make it a little easier in their body chemistry for them to do the rest of the work that is needed to be done. And what do I mean when I say work? If you're stressed, worried, or anxious, there are many things that need to change. And that's what the Soul Cure for Anxiety, the program that I wrote, is all about. It's really enabling a person to do all of those as painlessly as possible, to rewire the physical body, the mental thoughts, heal the emotional layer, move the energy blocks, change the behaviors, and be able to align with the spiritual beliefs that are needed in order to really be somebody that's in that flow of life and feeling great and not afraid of life's expansion. So, but the thing is that the chemistry in the body is a very important part of whether we feel in the flow of life and whether we feel capable of being optimistic and sane and calm as life challenges us and expands. For people that don't want to go on psychotropic medications, and I do think that this is a wise choice for most people, because there are potential changes in their chemistry that happen and side effects that happen from them going on medications. I do think it's a wise idea, though, for them to go on supplements. And the supplements are to help bolster up the areas of the brain, the neurotransmitters in the brain that enable a person to be relaxed or at ease or a more positive thinker, that naturally occur in the brain, but typically have some deficits, or we think have deficits, in people that are negative thinkers, chronic worriers, ruminators, people with low energy, people with short fuses, that we often think or speculate that these neurotransmitters are at a deficit. And there's very specific ones that influence each mood that I was just talking about. And so there's actually a book that I think is a fairly good book. It's called The Mood Cure. I'll show it to you. This is it, The Mood Cure. It looks like this. I bought this a couple of years ago, and it's got 4 tests in it. And the tests help you to assess, very easy tests, help you to assess what neurotransmitter you're most likely to be deficient in. And then it gives you these really easy supplements that you can go get at Vitamin World or any other vitamin store that, and as long as it's quality vitamins, quality supplements, that are meant to bolster those neurotransmitters back up until they're at levels where they can self-propagate and be at a healthy level for you to be able to feel a whole lot better. You still need to do the work. You still need to do the counseling work. You still have to shift the other parts of your being that have become stressed, worried, anxious, afraid of the flow of life, not going with the expansion of life. However, the supplements can help make that easier. And these are supplements like GABA, 5-HTP. I have several clients who take cortisol manager to manage the cortisol in their bloodstream. It's called cortisol manager, and they find it to be very helpful and effective for their stress and for their anxiety. Other things that have been shown to be really important are things like prebiotics. Prebiotics are shown to help create a less anxious person. And I don't know, I read some articles about it, and I won't discuss all of the details of how that works scientifically, if only to say that it helps the body system to work better. And when your system is not working well, when the chemistry of your body is not working well, it makes it more vulnerable to a stress response or a stress reaction. Which is why I would also say this: if you are not currently eating every couple of hours, you are setting yourself up for a higher level of stress. When I say eating, I mean eating things that are higher in protein, less in processed foods, less in sugars, less in caffeine, and instead more protein, healthy fats, and vegetables. Now, I think we all know that that's the diet we're supposed to be eating and that that's healthiest for our bodies. But if you're an anxious person and you're not eating that way, you're helping your chemistry create more stress and anxiety, which is not something you want to do because you're suffering emotionally and you're suffering with your mood and with your ruminating thoughts. So the reason why I say eating every couple of hours is because a low blood sugar is incredibly similar to an anxiety attack in the way that it feels and manifests itself in the body. So you will want to keep your blood sugar as even as possible throughout the day by eating every couple of hours in those high protein, not a lot of processed foods, some fruits, most, and vegetables, nuts, so that healthy fats, so that you can keep that blood sugar really even. Um, and of course, there's other things too, like you want to make sure that you're super hydrated, because not being hydrated can actually cause feelings of more stress in the body. Remember, the body is responding from a stress response. And so we want to make it as resilient as possible to life by having it be as healthy as possible, which means that we can't make it very vulnerable. And not having a body that's not hydrated is very vulnerable to stress. I want to talk a little bit about caffeine for a minute. I'm not anti-caffeine. I like my morning coffee, probably like many of you do, or perhaps you drink tea, but you want to limit how much caffeine you drink. There are some people that have anxiety that cannot consume coffee at all. They cannot consume diet sodas at all, and they can't consume aspartame at all, because these things make their body rev up too much. It blocks certain neurotransmitters, and it gives it too much caffeine, and that causes more of the symptoms of feeling anxious and stressed and wired. So if you are somebody that does drink caffeine, like coffee, and you have stress, worry, and anxiety, my suggestion is that you limit it down to maybe one cup of half caffeinated coffee, or one at the very most in the morning. Some people, that's still even too much. And that you try to drink decaffeinated or lots of water throughout the day, or other things that might be a little bit healthier for you. Water with some lemon, that's a great way to start the day also. And just so that you try to limit it just enough so that you do not have the remnants of caffeine in your system. Remember, caffeine can stay in your system for up to 8 hours. So if you're having a cup of coffee at 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. when you feel that lull in the day, that might have something to do with why you're having trouble falling asleep in a peaceful way by 10 or 11 p.m. at night. It's just something to think about. So in any case, these are just a couple of the things that I'm suggesting for helping your body to be as healthy and resilient as possible. Please go to the Soul Cure for Anxiety or Beth Miller Meditations so you can get your free meditations and the rest of the free tools that I have there. Please feel free to respond to this or send me any information about a video you would like to see or tools and techniques you'd like to learn. And until then, I wish you a very beautiful day.